Alright guys, so I got a fun story for you all to enjoy, and this one is Owl House and Alien. Like, I thought this would be a fun one to do. Owl House and Alien is a crossover. I was like, that wouldn't work, but then I thought about it more. I was like, you know what? I think there's a story here. I think there's a story to be had in some capacity. And yeah, so let's talk about that story. Like, let's talk about that story. So, this story is more or less set like kind of nebulously somewhere in Season 2, and essentially what it is that we cut to some Emperor's guards discovering like the Titan bleed, and something has been has been brought in from the Titan bleed, and what it is a queen xenomorph egg. Turns out that it's not just Earth that can intersect with the Titan blood and cause be subjected to the Titan bleed. Turns out other worlds can do that, and one of those worlds turned out to be a xenomorph homeworld, and it just happened that an egg got misplaced and it ended up bleeding into this world. And wouldn't you know it, it's a queen egg. So the Emperor's guards are like, do we eat it? Do we dispose of it? And then the thing latches onto one of the guardsmen, and the other guard takes him back to Emperor Belos and is like, hey, my Emperor, some kind of parasite is attached to his face, and Belos is like, interesting. Leave it on, I want to see what happens. And the thing busts out of his chest, and he's like, whoa, that's a lot. But he keeps it because Belos believes that there's something that can be used here. Like, he sees an opportunity for something grand to be held. So he captures the queen, locks it deep in the tower. He locks it deep inside the tower. And what he plans to do, because he has the eggs, he has the thing hatching eggs, and what he's using, instead of turning witches to stone, he's grabbing either dissidents or random demons off the street, or, you know, wild witches, and essentially what he's doing is having them, like, be hosts for the queen's eggs. The queen is locked up with enchantments and spells and enchanted shackles that hold it down, and the xenomorph queen is just forced to reproduce eggs. A lot like in Alien vs. Predator, but better. So the xenomorph queen, the xenomorphs that are being born are like, I wouldn't say they're deformed, like they come out like normal warrior class, and they actually, but there's a difference. See, these new xenomorphs that are being born because of magical beings have a inert set of power to use magic. But they don't, like, make glyphs or signs or whatever. What they do is their head glows with the symbol. Like, it glows with the symbol of each coven. So if it bursted out of the chest, if the chest buster erupted from a member of the Abomination Corps of the Abomination Coven, basically what it is that the xenomorph, like, its head would glow purple, and then, like, its tongue would turn, like, into an abomination tongue, or, like, its body would become, like, more malleable. You also have, like, if it's a plant coven one, like, plants would start its head would glow green, and sprouts would come, like, vines and tentacles and stuff would come out of its back. If it's a member of the Beast Coven, this thing could, like, its body, like, twists and morphs into, like, a different animal or monster. Remember, xenomorphs are pretty goddamn smart, so it would stand to reason that they would have some semblance of understanding magic, or a twisted version of it. Think, like, kind of like if xenomorphs were spawned by the Thing from, well, the Thing. So yeah, like, kind of cosmic horror, like, body horror kind of xenomorphs. And essentially, Belos is like, oh yeah, I know what I'm going to do with these things. Basically, Belos reveals to the world that he basically says, brothers, brothers and sisters, my children, a grand day has come. The Titan has given birth, the Titan gave birth to creatures that will help us in the Day of Unity. And yeah, he reveals them because he's used his magic to bend these new xenomorphs to his will. And he basically says that these creatures, are going to be hunting dogs to hunt down the remaining wild witches. and bring them before the Titan for judgment. He basically, yeah, like I said, he just passes them off as like something like a gift from the Titan, and has spawned, like the Titan spawned them out of anger against the wild witches. So that's the idea. Now, obviously, this does not bode well for. This in no way, shape, or form bodes well for Ida and everyone in the Owl House. In fact, Belos is like, I know exactly who I'm sending these after first. So he sends the new magic xenomorphs after. He sends them to the Owl House, and Hooty does put up a really goddamn good fight. He puts up a good fight, but these xenomorphs are smart, and they still have the acid blood. So when Hooty like cuts one open, the acid blood like hits him. He's like, ah, and it hurts him. And it's like, I didn't want someone to go, oh, they're xenomorphs, they're aliens. No, it's like they don't know what it is. Like, it's kind of goes back to the original Alien, where basically you don't know what it is. Like, you don't understand what it is. It's alien in origin. All it really is, like, Ida and King are like, these aren't demons. Like, they aren't like any demon I've ever seen. Like, no demon in any kind of codex or any book looks like this. Like, these things are unnatural. They were unnaturally born. Like, I don't know if Belos made them from magic, if they're homunculus, or they're something else. But these things are unnatural. They shouldn't exist. Like, they're destroying the balance in the island. So it becomes clear that these they have to stop these xenomorphs before they become more, like, they start replicating more. And obviously the Emperor's Coven, like some of them, including Darius, is like, Emperor, these things are becoming a little more unruly with each day. Like, maybe we should bring them more to heal. And Belos is like, yeah, I got him under control. Be careful I don't turn them on you, Darius. So that's that's where he is right now. But Darius, along with Rain, are like, yeah, these things are dangerous. They're becoming more unstable. They're getting harder to control, but the Emperor won't admit that he's made a mistake. And these things are going to kill us all if we let them. We have to stop them now. So that's the plan, is stop these creatures now before they can replicate and become more and more of a threat. So with Ida's help, Rain sends a message to Ida and tells her, look, I know where these things are being kept. You need to come and stop them. Like, you need to find a way to kill them, because I'm too, if I try to do it, the Emperor will figure out it was me. And everything about taking it down from the inside is going to be a problem. And yeah, so Ida tries to go alone, but Luz, of course, tags along with King, and they discover that the entire underside, the xenomorphs were moved to, not from the bottom of the castle, but the Queen and the rest of the xenomorphs were moved from the castle to the dungeon, to the dungeon that Warden Wrath once worked at, and they've turned it into, they've more or less cocooned it in the inside. Have been like, instead of imprisoning people, they're like cocooning them and like letting them get chest busted. And it's a real horror show. Even Ida is like, there is no creature on this earth or anywhere in the Boiling Isles that is this horrifying. We need to kill these things now. However, Luz gets separated from everyone, and Luz gets separated from everyone and discovers the Queen's nest, and it's covered in eggs. Luz uses summons one of her fire glyphs to keep the keep the xenomorphs as they're moving closer to her and she basically says, I'll light all these eggs on fire. And the xenomorph queen's like, let them go. But however, Luz notices that the xenomorph queen is in pain, and that's when it suddenly clicks for her, is like, you're not doing this because you want to, you're doing this because the Emperor's making you. Like, you're just an animal. So at this point, when Ida finds them again, Ida's immediately like goes at the Xenomorph Queen, like, get away from her, you bitch! And Lou's like, no, stop! We can't kill them. They're not responsible for this. Yeah, but these are animals. They're kind of like on my Earth. There's these things called sharks. They're scary, but that's what they are. Like, I think they're just animals. And Ida's like, you're asking me to send them away, and she's like, yeah. Well, that's great, kid. I don't know how. Luz has this idea of using, more or less using the Titan blood, the Titan bleed, to send them all back. Or at least somewhere they could be, you know, freed. So, with Ida's help, they managed to get the, get the xenomorphs out of the dungeon and in there. They take the queen, like they capture her, and the rest of the swarm follows. And they toss all the eggs in there. So yeah, it's an alien story where the aliens are free. Like they're the victims as much as they are the villains. There you go. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my Alien Owl House crossover. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Comment below, let me know. And once again, as always, if you haven't already, hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, and check out the exclusive content. That's where the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness video is. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.